Blocks can be used for several purposes. As we saw, creating a simple block is not that complicated, really. Editing a block is also quite simple. Let's open up the annotation file. Go to Model Space, and let's start by inserting a block. Just type the word insert, or go to the insert button on the ribbon. And let's select the chair block. Click OK. And this is the chair block that is in the file right now. And insert it somewhere over here. We'll move it over a little bit more so we can just see the chair. Blocks are used to be able to create and as well as to be able to change objects very quickly, especially line work that is repeated, like the line work for this chair. Now, if you need a second type of chair, then you have to make a second chair block. The nice thing about having one chair style is that if I edit the chair block, and once I do edit the chair block, then every place where we inserted that block will be updated instantly. We don't have to go back and change each chair and update it one at a time. So if I made a change to the chair block, every instance of this chair block will instantly update and change to match. To edit a block, you can just double click it. That will bring up the Edit Block Definition window. Now keep in mind that this only works for blocks that don't have attributes or text built into them that you can edit. Now we'll cover attributed blocks and how to edit them in a different section. Now there are two main ways to edit a block. You can edit the block through the block editor or edit it in place. If I cancel this, and if I select a block and I right click on it, you get to those options very easily. I can edit the block in the block editor, or I can edit the block in place. Editing a block in place allows you to edit the block as it exists in your drawings relative to the surrounding line work. Sometimes this is important and necessary. Let's look at the block editor first. In either case, you select your block and then right click it. Now pick the block editing mode that you want. In our case, it's going to be the block editor. Now, the block editor environment looks a little bit different. It has contextual ribbons and some block authoring tool palettes. The background will even change slightly in color. Now, there are far more options to block editing than what we have time to cover, like dynamic blocks and geometric and parametric constraints. But for now, I want to make sure that you're comfortable working with static blocks. Now, the block editor opens up the selected block in its native state. This is how the block will look when we insert it into a drawing. Now, we make changes to the line work just like we would to any other drawing in AutoCAD. Now, it allows you to edit the block without any other objects getting in the way. So let's change this chair just a little bit. Let's change this back. Let's bring it in a little bit so it's a little bit more thin. And let's erase these arms just to get rid of them completely. And draw some lines connecting them all together. And also, let's select everything, open up the Properties palette. You can close that tool palette for right now. And let's change everything to layer 0, because that's good practice. And let's extend the backs of these curves so that they actually touch the back of our chair. Now, after you've made your change, when you're done, click up here in the contextual ribbon. Up here on the far right, close block editor. AutoCAD will ask you if you want to save the changes or discard them. In this case, we want to save. This is our updated chair block. And if we look over here, all of these blocks have been updated as well. So we changed the entire layout, every chair in our drawing, updating only one block. I want to show you how to edit a block in place. If I select the chair, right click, edit block in place. And it's going to ask you and verify that that's the block you want to edit. Click OK. And as you can see, everything else kind of fades back. Now, I can pick these lines. I can't do anything to them. They're just there as reference. But I can make changes to these objects just like I normally would. So if I need to know this chair has to be so wide according to this wall or located to something specific, then that's great. I have all these reference points and I can get to it. Now when you're done, come up to the ribbon tab and click on the Save Changes or Discard Changes if you don't want to save anything that you changed. Click OK, and you're back in your regular drawing state. Or you can type in ref close, REFCLOSE. Now to get into that mode also, you can type in ref edit to get to it. But typically I'll just do a right click. I don't have to remember the command, it's always there.